I'm going to read about the sin of Sodom. And this is Rabbi Eliezer's chapter talking about Sodom and Gomorrah. He was a 2nd century sage whose works were compiled and gathered about the 8th or 9th century. But first, I'm going to go back to where Messiah, Yeshua, is talking about Sodom and Gomorrah in the New Testament. I'm not going to read everything leading up to this. You can go back and read so you have context. But this is Matthew 10, verse 15. It says, "Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city." And in Matthew 11, 23 and 24, this is King James. It says, "And thou, Capernaum, which art exalted unto heaven, shall be brought down to hell. For if the mighty works which have been done in thee have been done in Sodom, it would have remained unto this day. But I say unto you that it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom in the day of judgment than for thee." So now I'm going to go back and read what Rabbi Eliezer writes about the sin of Sodom and Gomorrah, because I think it's good to put the two together. "The third descent which he descended was at Sodom, as it is said, I will go down now and see. The Holy One, blessed be he, said, Shall I not tell my friend Abraham an important matter which I will do in my world in the future? As it is said, and the Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham that which I do? Rabbi Chenaanah, son of Dosa, said, The Holy One, blessed be he, was revealed, and 3 angels appeared unto our father Abraham, as it is said, and he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men. He began to inform him about the conception of the womb by Sarah his wife, as it is said, I will certainly return unto thee when the season cometh around. Afterwards he told him about the doom of Sodom, as it is said, and the Lord said, Because of the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great. Hence thou mayest learn, every one who wishes to tell his companion a matter which is a disgrace to him, begins with a good word, and concludes with the evil matter, which is unpleasant to him. Whence do we learn this? From the Holy One, blessed be he, for when he revealed to our father Abraham, he began to announce to him the good news concerning the conception by Sarah his wife. Afterwards he told him about the fate of Sodom, as it is said, and the Lord said, Because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great. Abraham began to ask for compassion before him on behalf of Lot, the son of his brother. He spake before him, Sovereign of all worlds, like the death of the wicked shall the death of the righteous be? As it is said, Wilt thou consume the righteous with the wicked? The Holy One, blessed be he, answered him, Abraham, by the merit of the righteous one will I forgive Sodom. If I find in Sodom 50 righteous, then will I forgive it all its sins. Hence they said, If there be 50 righteous in the world exists through their righteousness. Abraham arose and began to beseech God, and made supplication before him until he brought the number down to 10. Hence the sages said, When there are 10 people in a place, the place is delivered by their righteousness, as it is said, and he said, I will not destroy it for the sake of 10. Rabbi Zeira said, The men of Sodom were the wealthy men of prosperity, on account of the good and fruitful land whereon they dwelt. For every need which the world requires, they obtained therefrom. They procured gold therefrom, as it is said, and it had dust of gold. What is the meaning of the text, and it had dust of gold? At the hour when one of them wished to buy a vegetable, he would say to his servant, "Go and purchase for me the value of an assar." He went and bought it, and found beneath it heaps of gold. Thus it is written, "And it had dust of gold. They obtained silver therefrom." As it is said, "Surely there is a mine for silver." They procured precious stones and pearls thence, as it is said, "The stones thereof are at the place of sapphires." They obtained bread therefrom, as it is said, "As for the earth, out of it cometh bread." But they did not trust in the shadow of their Creator, but they trusted in the multitude of their wealth. For wealth thrusts aside its owners from the fear of heaven, as it is said, "They that trust in their wealth." Rabbi Nathanael said, "The men of Sodom had no consideration for the honor of their owner by not distributing food to the wayfarer and the stranger, but they even fenced in all the trees on top above their fruit, so that they should not be seized, not even by the bird of heaven, as it is said, "That path no bird of prey knoweth." Rabbi Joshua, son of Korah, said, "They appointed over themselves judges who were lying judges, and they oppressed every wayfarer and stranger who entered Sodom by their perverse judgment, and they sent them forth naked, as it is said, 'They have oppressed the stranger without judgment.' They were dwelling in security, without care, and at ease, without the fear of war from all their suffering surroundings. As it is said, 'Their houses are safe from fear.' They were seated with all their produce of the earth, but they did not strengthen with the loaf of bread either the hand of the needy or of the poor. As it is said, 'Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom: pride, fullness of bread, and prosperous ease was in her and her daughters. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and the needy.'" And that's in Ezekiel. Rabbi Yehuda said, "They made a proclamation in Sodom, saying, 'Everyone who strengthens the hand of the poor or the needy with a loaf of bread shall be burnt by fire.'" Pelethith, the daughter of Lot, was wedded to one of the magnates of Sodom. She saw a certain very poor man in the street of the city, and her soul was grieved on his account. As it is said, "Was not my soul grieved for the needy?" What did she do? Every day she went out to draw water. She put in her bucket all sorts of provisions from her home, and she fed that poor man. The men of Sodom said, "How does this man live?" When they ascertained the facts, they brought her forth to be burnt with fire. She said, "Sovereign of all worlds, maintain my right and my cause at the hands of the men of Sodom." And her cry ascended before the throne of glory. And in that hour the Holy One, blessed be he, said, "I will now descend, and I will see whether the men of Sodom have done according to the cry of this young woman. I will turn her foundations upwards, and the surface thereof shall be turned downwards. As it is said, I will now descend, I will see whether they have done altogether according to her cry, which is come unto me." According to their cry is not written here in the text, only according to her cry. Thus the text says, "He who walketh with wise men shall be wise, but the companion of fools shall be broken. He who walketh with wise men shall be wise." To what is this like? To one who enters the perfumer's shop. Although he neither takes anything nor gives anything, nevertheless he absorbs a good scent and goes away therewith. Likewise, everyone who walks with the righteous acquires some of their good ways and deeds. Therefore it is said, "He who walketh with the wise men shall be wise, but the companion of fools shall be broken." To what is this comparable? To a man who enters a tannery, although he neither takes or gives anything, nevertheless he has absorbed a foul odor. Likewise, he who walks with the wicked acquires some of their evil ways and deeds. That is according to what is written. But the companion of fools shall be broken. Another explanation, he who walketh with the wise men shall be wise, refers to Lot, who walketh with our father Abraham, and learned of his good deeds and ways. They said, what did our father Abraham do? He made for himself a house opposed to Haran, and he received everyone who entered into or went out from Haran, and he gave them to eat and to drink. He said to him, say ye, the God of Abraham is the only one in the universe. When Lot came to Sodom, he did likewise. When they made the proclamation in Sodom, all who strengthen the hand of the poor or needy with a loaf of bread shall be burnt with fire, he was afraid of the men of the city, and he did not venture to do so by day, but he did it by night, as it is said, and the two angels came to Sodom at even, and Lot sat at the gate of Sodom. Why did Lot sit at the gate of Sodom? Because he was afraid of the men of the city, and did not venture to act charitably by day, but he did so by night. He saw the two angels walking in the street of the city, and he thought that they were wayfarers in the land, and he ran to meet them. He said to them, come and lodge ye overnight in my house, eat and drink, and ye shall go your way in peace. But the men would not accept this for themselves, and he took them by the hand against their will, and brought them inside his house, as it is said, and he urged them greatly. A certain young man of the people of the city saw them, and he ran and told all the men of the city, and they all gathered together at the door of the house, to do according to their wont, even deeds of sodomy, as it is said, and they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men who came to thee tonight? Bring them forth to us, that we may know them. And what did Lot do? Just as Moses gave his life for the people, so Lot gave up his two daughters instead of the two angels, as it is said, behold, now I have two daughters. But the men would not agree, and did not accept them. What did the angels do to them? They smote them with blindness until dawn of the next morning. All were treated with measure for measure, just as he had taken them by the hand without their will, and taken them into his house. So they took hold of his hand, and the hand of his wife, and the hand of his two daughters, and took them outside the city, as it is said, but he lingered, and the men laid hold upon his hand. And they said to them, do not look behind you, for verily the Shekinah of the Holy One, blessed be he, has descended in order to rain upon Sodom and Gomorrah, brimstone and fire. The pity of Edith, the wife of Lot, was stirred for her daughters who were married in Sodom, and she looked back behind her to see if they were coming after her or not. And she saw behind the Shekinah, and she became a pillar of salt, as it is said, and his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt.